Think back to the last time you felt a sudden, massive surge of motivation. Maybe it was New Year's Eve, maybe you watched a highly inspiring video, or maybe you just hit rock bottom and swore to yourself that things were going to change. You wrote down your goals, you planned out your perfect routine, you felt like an unstoppable force of nature. For 3 days, you woke up early, you went to the gym, you worked on your business, and you ate perfectly. But then, day 4 arrived. You woke up and it was raining outside. You felt a little tired. The initial excitement was gone, replaced by a cold, heavy resistance. A little voice in your head whispered, "Just sleep in today. You worked hard for 3 days. You deserve a break. You can start again tomorrow." You listened to that voice. You hit snooze. And just like that, the grand vision collapsed. The empire you were going to build crumbled before the foundation was even poured. If this cycle sounds painfully familiar, you are not alone. You are trapped in the most common and destructive psychological loop of the modern era, the motivation trap. For the next 10 minutes, we are going to completely dismantle the illusion of motivation. We are going to expose why relying on your feelings is a guaranteed recipe for failure. And I am going to show you exactly how to forge the ultimate human superpower, absolute self-discipline. The greatest lie you have ever been sold by the modern self-help industry is that you need to feel good to do great things. We have created a culture that worships emotional states. We think that if we do not feel inspired, we cannot create. If we do not feel energetic, we cannot train. If we do not feel courageous, we cannot speak up. This is a catastrophic error in human software. Your feelings are not a reliable compass. They are chaotic weather patterns. They are influenced by how much sleep you got, what you ate for breakfast, a random comment someone made on the internet, and a million other variables completely outside of your control. If you only act when the emotional weather is perfectly sunny, you will spend 90% of your life waiting indoors. Motivation is a fair weather friend. It is there when the sun is shining and the music is pumping, but the moment you step into the freezing mud of the trenches, motivation abandons you. The people who actually conquer the world, the people who build lasting empires, write masterpieces, and forge unbreakable bodies do not wait for motivation. They have mastered a completely different mechanism. They have severed the biological link between how they feel and what they do. This separation of emotion from action is the core definition of true discipline. To understand the profound depth of this concept, we must look away from modern influencers and look toward history's most lethal individuals. Consider Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary Japanese samurai and undefeated duelist who lived in the 17th century. Musashi fought over 60 lethal duels and never lost once. He was a masterless wanderer, a ronin, who forged his own path through unimaginable hardship. In his final days, he wrote a text called the Dokokodo, which translates to the way of walking alone. One of the most powerful precepts in this text is, do not seek pleasure for its own sake. Musashi understood that the relentless pursuit of comfort and the avoidance of pain make the mind soft, weak, and easily broken. If a warrior only trained when he felt rested and happy, he would be slaughtered on the battlefield by the enemy who trained in the freezing rain. Musashi did not fight because he felt like it, he fought because his entire existence was bound to the strict, unforgiving code of his art. He treated his body and his mind not as delicate instruments to be pampered, but as weapons to be sharpened on the stone of daily relentless resistance. How do we apply the mindset of a 17th century samurai to our modern comfortable lives? The first step is to establish what I call the non-negotiable baseline. Right now, your life is filled with negotiations. When your alarm goes off, you negotiate with yourself. 5 more minutes? When it is time to work, you negotiate. Maybe I'll just check social media for 10 minutes first. Every time you negotiate with your own weakness, you lose a tiny piece of your soul. You lose self-respect. Discipline begins by drawing a line in the sand and making certain actions completely non-negotiable. You do not debate whether you're going to brush your teeth in the morning. You just do it. You must elevate your goals to that exact same level of biological necessity. Pick 3 daily actions. Just 3. Maybe it's waking up at a specific time, doing 30 minutes of deep work without your phone, and exercising for 20 minutes. For the next 30 days, these actions are no longer choices. They are laws of physics. It doesn't matter if you're tired, sad, angry, or uninspired. You execute the baseline. period. When the negotiation stops, the anxiety stops. The mind stops looking for escape routes and simply accepts the work. The second pillar of absolute discipline is mastering your dopamine baseline. We live in an environment that is constantly hijacking our reward system. Every notification, every endless scroll, every piece of junk food floods your brain with cheap, unearned dopamine. When you consume cheap dopamine, you destroy your ability to do hard things. Why would your brain generate the necessary neurochemicals to study for 2 hours or build a business when it can get a massive rush of pleasure just by staring at a glowing screen for zero effort? To build discipline, you must purposefully starve the modern distractions. You must endure the boredom. You must train your brain to realize that the only way to get a reward is through focused, difficult effort. This is why the most disciplined people are often the ones who practice purposeful deprivation. They take cold showers, not just for the physical benefits, but to practice stepping into discomfort. They fast to show their body who's in charge. They turn off their phones to sit alone in silence. By deliberately introducing voluntary hardship into your life, the involuntary hardships of the real world become incredibly easy to manage. The final and most crucial element of discipline is shifting your identity. As long as you view discipline as a punishment, as a heavy chain restricting your freedom, you will eventually rebel against it. You must understand that discipline is not the opposite of freedom. Discipline is the exact prerequisite for freedom. A man who lacks financial discipline is a slave to his debt. A man who lacks physical discipline is a slave to his failing health. A man who lacks emotional discipline is a slave to his own chaotic moods. True freedom is the ability to command your own mind to do exactly what needs to be done, exactly when it needs to be done. You must stop identifying as someone who is trying to be disciplined and start identifying as someone who simply is disciplined. The next time you face the choice between the easy path and the hard path, don't ask yourself what you want to do. Ask yourself, what would a disciplined man do in this exact situation? And then, without a single second of hesitation, you do exactly that. This is the ultimate evolution of the mind. You have cleared the smoke of distraction. You have found peace in solitude. You have become immune to the judgments of the crowd. You have forged a heavy, undeniable purpose. And now you have built the unstoppable engine of absolute discipline to drive you forward. You are no longer a passive passenger in the vehicle of your life. You are the sovereign ruler of your own mind. The modern world wants you weak, distracted, addicted, and purposeless, but you have chosen a different path. You have chosen the ancient, difficult, glorious path of self-mastery. The journey does not end here. In fact, it is only just beginning. The wars will continue. The resistance will never fully disappear, and the enemy of comfort will always be waiting at the gates. But you are ready. Stand your ground. Hold the line. Execute the daily standard, and let the unbreakable strength of your own character be the monument you leave behind in this world. A warrior does not complain about the weight of his sword. He simply builds stronger arms to carry it. Every time you overcome your own laziness, you are forging an unbreakable armor for your soul. Remember that the pain of discipline weighs ounces, but the pain of regret weighs tons. Take control of your mind, or the world will gladly step in and control it for you. Your future self is watching you right now through the lens of your daily choices. Do not let him down.